Welcome back to the program. Now, this segment, we'll be talking to our guest in the house, Nana Marfo. Just finding out about exactly what he's been up to. He's a very young man who's very active in the community. It's good to find out what he's up to. As I said earlier, Nana, that this is not the first time we've met. You've been on the show before a few months ago, and we did touch on what you call unique ability.
Yeah.
Okay, I think at that time we were looking at how people with some form of disability are treated across the continent that you came on. And just before we carry on, just to enlighten or tell us a bit more with what you're dealing with, which is tracheostomy. What does it mean? What is it? And then how long have you had it for?
Right, so I basically was born premature at birth, and that caused my airway not to develop with me. So from birth to the age I'm at now, I deal with a breathing apparatus.
Okay.
And it's an artificial tube, which is inserted in the trachea, enables me to breathe, and enables me to live a normal life.
Okay. Fantastic. But all right, let's move forward, fast forward now, because I see you're very active on social media. You speak about equality and inclusiveness with people with form of disability, especially with in the working place. And I remember one particular time where you posted something and you said you've got good news coming. I said, okay, what could this possibly be? I wanted to call you to ask you, but I thought, okay, let me just wait till you post it. And it was that you've got a job. You're working.
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing now, and how did you get the job? Did you apply the normal way, or you had to go through just like everyone does, through agencies?
Well, I applied the normal way, firstly. It's working for a London borough. Funny enough, it's in line with my passion, disability.
Yeah.
The government brought out an initiative called Proof of Concept. Now, Proof of Concept is looking at how people with disability, and mainly mental health, but other forms of barriers, are allowed to get into the workplace. So, me being me and my passion for inclusion, especially in the workplace, I got that job through my passion. I had the skills and qualifications for it, but I was taken on board because of my passion for disability. So it's helping people with barriers into work.
Okay, now some may think that, especially in the UK, people with barriers are more or less included in society, not really frowned upon. They've come a long way. People are treated as equal. I mean, if you get on the bus, well, you might disagree. But compared to other countries, but there's still a lot to do. Was it difficult getting that position? And when you did start work, did people treat you any different?
I think I'm at an age where I didn't really care.
Okay.
If I'm quite honest. Getting the job, I went through the normal procedures. I did go through the guaranteed interview scheme to double tick.
Yeah.
And I was just me. But bearing in mind, I'm confident within my disability and I'm confident within my skin. So for others who have unique abilities, they've not come to the crossroads of accepting their unique ability. So that's the barrier before employers can even look at them, or they can stand on their own 2 feet and be who they want to be and speak with confidence.
You think you have to work twice as hard?
You do, because society, one of my mom's distant friends made a comment just many years ago.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, disabled people don't have to try. Oh, they do. Just turn up to the interview and they get a job, because this is the UK. Now, why do you think like that? Because I've got a disability, things are easy. No. you've got to prove yourself time and time again, because you're on the back foot. You've got your colleagues looking at you, he's got a disability or she's got a disability.
Yeah.
She won't perform as us. We're going to be left to pick up her slack when she doesn't perform. So you're battling yourself because you're aware people are looking at you, and you're also having to work 10 times harder just to show that you can perform and you're worthy of that employer taking you on.
Well, I must commend you for your persistence and hard work. As I did mention, you have been nominated for National Diversity Awards 2018. You must have been over the moon when you heard this news.
Yes, I was. Well, firstly, I was shocked because I got an email. Was that award? What for? All I do is talk about what I'm passionate about in the community through my own experiences. So to find out that my voice was echoing, not just through the National Diversity Awards, but the BBC, various outlets, and to be recognized that there is a problem in employment. People with disabilities are on the back foot. Some of them are knocking the doors and not even getting in. And for somebody out there to recognize that that guy can make a change, let's push him out there to tell people that you may have a barrier, you may be uniquely gifted in other things, give me a chance. So I was blown away. It's been a nice experience. And even if I don't win on the night, whoever wins, we're all winners.
And how can people vote? Is done on voting
Unfortunately,
basis,
the
right?
voting is
done.
concluded.
It's concluded, yeah.
But I managed to get 200 votes.
Wow.
And I was managed to get shortlisted out of 24,584 people.
Wow.
And I'm the man of color within my category.
Wow. Okay, let's talk. A big congratulations again on that.
Yep.
But let's talk about the employment aspect. As you did mention, an auntie of yours did say that in this country, especially in the UK, if you have some form of disability, then it's easier for you. But this is the kind of perception that is out there, that you more or less it helps you more than it puts a negative aspect on you. But that's not the case.
It helps you, but I don't want people to feel just because you've been given an olive branch, you shouldn't, run the 100 meters. Yes, there's an olive branch. I know places like Ghana, stuff like reasonable adjustment, they think, what's that? Stuff like guaranteed interview. Go and get qualification, Charlie. If you ain't got qualification, they're not interested. So I understand it's a chance to get into the workplace, but at the same time, I want to be respected for my experience, my qualification. Leave my disability last.
Yeah.
Don't see me, and straight away the question is, what's wrong with you, mate? What's wrong with you? What's your barrier? How is it going to affect our company? How much money are we going to spend on you? I'm an individual first. My disability is after.
Now you're Ghanaian. You go back and forth in Ghana, so you've seen the best of both worlds. And especially when it comes to disability, this is an area where I think across the continent we haven't come to the realization that these are human beings and need to be treated as such. What do you think the issue here is, and how can that be addressed?
Hey, you're putting me in a political spot. Right. The issue is successive governments have come in and out, and nobody seems to address the issue that we all need to be included. If you've got mental health, they chuck you on the streets of Abeka, Circle, Osu. You're just walking. There is no institutions out there to help. Now, to your question, what the problem is, governments need to take ownership. If we're saying we're one big nation, we're Ghanaians, look after your Ghanaian citizen, irrespective of them not being your family member. Look into the future. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You don't know what's going to happen to your mom, dad, granddad, nephew, niece. We need to come together as a collective, be inclusive, because I don't feel Ghana is inclusive enough, and stipulate that everybody with a disability should be treated fairly. Until we have that conversation, we're not going to move forward. And when you look at the dynamics of funding, there is money in the country. The infrastructure of being able to help people with disabilities can be done. But what do the ministers do? They spend the money on themselves, they buy big cars, they buy a big house, and you're forgetting the crucial people that need that money to move on in life. You've moved on. You've got your car, your limousine. You've got your house, you've got your wife. What about that person with mental health?
Well, that's a conversation we all need to get involved in and talk about. Nana, thank you very much for coming in. So that was Nana Marfo. He has been nominated for National Diversity Awards 2018. Hopefully he wins and we'll get him back here in the studio. We're done for another day. We'll be back here next week, Monday. Until then, enjoy your day and have a good weekend. It's goodbye from us.
This program is brought to you by Pay Global.